Take me out to the ball game.
All right. Good morning. Take me out to the ball game today here on the Armchair Quarterback Show, where we try to get you caught up in the world of sports in just a few minutes. The Detroit Pistons, they get the top pick in the lottery. So most people believe it's going to be Cade Cunningham out of Oklahoma State. So there you go with that. And the Rockets got the second pick overall. Big news for the city of Detroit. By the way, it's Detroit style pizza today. So you can, if you're a Detroit fan, you can celebrate Detroit doesn't get a lot of victories in sports. This is a victory, and they hope that Cade Cunningham ends up being what they expect him to be, which is a dynamic scorer for those who have not paid attention to his career. Detroit gets 1, Houston 2. Cleveland Cavaliers once again get the third spot, and Toronto follows after that. The rest of the top 10 was Orlando, OKC, Golden State, and Minnesota. And Orlando gets Chicago's selection, and Sacramento and New Orleans follows. So there you have the NBA draft, and that will take place shortly after the season ends. It's usually the Thursday after the season ends. So whenever the season actually ends, which is scheduled for mid-July, we're in the middle, or just beginning of the Eastern Conference Finals begins today. Detroit, Atlanta. So you figure you're about 3 weeks away from the season ending. Okay. Outside of that, the Lakers, Caruso, he gets arrested for marijuana possession. I'm finding that extremely odd nowadays. But he was arrested by Texas A&M police. Both are misdemeanor charges. Why this is even on the news blotter, I don't know. Marijuana has been decriminalized, but we go ahead and let you know what's going on. Okay. The U.S. women's national team Olympic roster, Megan Rapinoe will be on it this year. It's interesting. She's been hired by a podcast it's basically a woke podcast, and I'm trying to think of the name of the company. It's escaping me right now. But shortly after this, someone dug up a racist tweet of Rapinoe, Megan Rapinoe, and everybody knows she's been woke. She's been woke the whole 9 yards. And they always say, be careful of the woke, because they're the ones that are probably the worst. Sure enough, a racist tweet was taken from, now granted, it was 10 years ago. And I do believe everyone has the ability to change, blah, blah, blah. But to be so critical, the things that she said about the ex-president, the things that she has said across the board, and her phony virtue signaling that she does on every single topic, is a racist tweet, basically telling one of her, I believe it was a teammate, she was saying the tweet is, you look Asian the way your eyes are closed like that. If that's not a racist tweet, what the hell is? So saying something like that, even it was only 10 years ago. It wasn't like this was in the 1920s or in the middle of World War II, where there was a lot of stereotypes and stigmatizations about the Asian community. We're talking about just 10 years ago. So be careful who you follow into the woke fire. Now, I guarantee you that this gets overlooked and no one's going to bring it up, and it's going to be, but it was trending on Twitter and a couple of other places a couple of days ago. So keep an eye on that. Max Scherzer. Now, here's the funny thing. Max Scherzer gets into it with Phillies manager Joe Girardi. Girardi was asked did he get searched for illegal substances. This is going to be going on a lot. But basically, Max Scherzer was doing Max Scherzer type things and mowing down the Philadelphia Phillies, who, look, they don't have the greatest offense in the world. They have an okay offense. But Max Scherzer is Max Scherzer. And he went 5 innings, 8 strikeouts, and then there was an altercation where Girardi was motioning towards the Philly dugout after he was after all this went down, and he ends up getting thrown out of the game because he was basically, I mean, the way he did it, there's no other way to explain it other than the fact that Joe Girardi was trying to incite a fight from the Phillies dugout. So he gets ejected. We'll see if he actually gets suspended for this. If that was a player, they've gotten suspended in the past. So we'll see what happens with that. National Hockey League, the Habs, the Canadians, whatever you want to call them, they got a 3-2 lead. They're heading back to Montreal with a chance to close it out and to head to the Stanley Cup Finals, leading 3-2. Now Vegas has to dig in. They need a win on the road in Canada, and then they've got to come home on a Game 7. If there is a Game 7, that would take place on Saturday. Game number 6 is tomorrow night. Game 6 in the Eastern Conference is tonight, and that will take place in the Barn Nassau County Coliseum. Could be the last game ever played by the Islanders. They are down 3-2. That, remember, they got blown out a couple of games ago, and that, I'm sure, is going to be sitting in their craw. I do believe New York will force a Game 7, but that Game 7 will be in Tampa. So I expect the emotions to be high tonight. New York down 2-3, trying to tie it up to force a Game 7. Okay, in the NBA tonight, Eastern Conference Finals begin. You get the 76er, excuse me, 76. You get the Atlanta Hawks traveling to Milwaukee, and that will be game number 1 of this series, and should be a hell of a series, I believe. I know most people believe that they're just going to blow them out and that we're not going to get much of anything else, but Milwaukee rolling. Well, they've said that the entire time in the entire time that Atlanta has been in these playoffs, they've been second guessed. They've been second guessed. So now we have the Atlanta Hawks going to game number 1, and then of course it'll be a 2-2, 1-1 series. So that begins tonight. Phoenix took a 2-1 lead, or 2-0 lead last night. Game 3 will be in Los Angeles. If you missed that ending, it was the longest damn minute of sports. It took about a half hour to play 60 seconds of basketball. And it's getting worse and worse every single day, every single game, with the inept way that the National Basketball Association referees ref their sport. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. And something's got to be done. You can't stop a sport which predicates itself on ebb and flow, which a sport that I believe is best when you're getting the momentum back and forth. They stop it after every damn play to see if a ball went out of bounds, a ticky-tack foul, et cetera, et cetera. It's ruining the sport. And if they don't step in fast and do something about this, it's going to absolutely crush it. People are going to get tired. They watch basketball for one reason and one reason only. Because basketball, for people who love it, has a lot of action in it. And it's athletic. And there's momentum, and there's the ebb and flow of the offense and defense, and guys getting hot and guys getting cold, and how do they respond? And they've taken that away with these stupid replays, play after play after play after play. I put a clock on it. The last 7.9 seconds of that game took 17 minutes. 17 freaking minutes to play 8 seconds of basketball. And they want to try to tell you that baseball needs to speed things up. They want to tell you that a football game takes too long. There was no damn reason to stop that game that many times for that length. The refs look like they don't even know what the hell they're doing. They'd never refereed a basketball game before. Like they were having to Google the rules. It was ridiculous. Phoenix wins 104-103 on a alley-oop dunk with about points. They gave it 0.7. I really think that's asinine, but there's no way that play only took 0.2 seconds. But there's 0.9 seconds on the clock. They alley-ooped it. DeAndre Ayton, the number 1 pick out of Arizona a few years back. He's the hero of the game. And they take a 2-0 lead. They're going back to LA, which that game will take place Thursday night, and it will be 9 o'clock Eastern. The game tonight, by the way, is 8:30 Eastern. Major League Baseball, as we wrap this up, we've got a lot of big games today. If you want to focus on some good matchups, okay, first of all, Braves-Mets. You're going to get 2 kids out there. One making his debut, Miguel out of New York. Strikeout guy, big time strikeout guy. We'll see what he's got in his first appearance, and then Kyle Wright for the Braves. So you look forward to that. 7:10 Eastern should be an interesting game. Interesting. I think it'll be a high scoring game, to be honest with you. If history has told us anything, Kyle Wright's going to give up runs, and then you've got a rookie coming out. He will probably get ambushed, and so we should have a pretty entertaining game. Other games, the action gets rolling early today, by the way, 12:35. You got Pirates and White Sox. But other games of interest, that Nationals-Phillies series, 105 Eastern. We'll see if there's any bad blood rolling out. You know, that's a divisional rivalry, and you got the manager trying to call out the other dugout. We'll see if it spills over in today's game. Going to be locked in on that. Cardinals-Tigers should be a lot of fun because Matt Manning of the Tigers, he goes out again up against Gant of the Cardinals. That should be an entertaining game as well. Woodruff is on the hill, by the way, for the Brewers today. So if you're looking for a really good pitcher, 1.94 ERA, look out. And then the late action, this is a hell of a pitching matchup. Gosman in his 1.51 ERA with the Giants. He is at the Angels, 4:07 first pitch. That game is actually the free MLB.TV game of the day. So even if you don't have the package, you can watch that game. Shohei Ohtani is on the mound for the Angels. So it's Ohtani versus Gausman. Should be a lot of fun there. All right. Other big action. I'm going to go over to the Yankees and Royals. Yankees going to try to get off the snide today. Another guy that was asked to bear all, essentially, was Garrett Cole yesterday. This is going to get ridiculous, and they need to stop it right now. Nip it in the bud. Don't let the managers ask the umpire to go, because they're going to do it every single game. Every single game that they think a guy's pitching really well, you can just get into someone's head, right? This should only come from the umpires, and they shouldn't be. I mean, they're doing a strip search like they're about to board a plane. It's ridiculous. Royals, Yankees today. Danny Duffy comes back from the IL. He's been on there for quite some time. He has a 1.94 ERA. Look for him to possibly be moved if the Royals can't get back into playoff contention. And the other big news from last night, Wander Franco made his Major League Baseball debut. He hit a 3-run jack. Boston won, but Tampa Bay's Wander Franco era has begun. They play again today, 7:10 Eastern. It's Hill versus Richards. Should be a lot of fun. And then Dodgers Padres, they're at it again. It's Bauer versus Musgrove. Another good pitching matchup. Snell outdueled Kershaw last night. We'll see you tomorrow on Take Me Out to the Ball Game today. And a lot of good games, y'all. College World Series didn't even get a chance to get into that. Tennessee's been eliminated. You've got games today. We'll probably get a little more into that tomorrow as they're getting close to getting the final matchups. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day on this edition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game from the Armchair Quarterbacks.